You are listening to the Berks Weekly Podcast. My name is Jason Hugg, and today my guest is storm chaser Justin Selig. He is a local storm chaser. He's had his stuff on the Weather Channel, AccuWeather, all sorts of photos and videos. So he does a lot, and I mean, he will go through this. We've been talking for the past 20 minutes before we went live, and he has a whole bunch of crazy stories and fun things he's been doing. But it's also the science behind it and everything too.
Definitely.
So it wasn't just a matter of all the crazy stuff he does. But before the season starts, before all of the crazy weather comes back in, I figured we'd have him on and we'd talk to him just about what he does. So the first question I have would just be, before we get into all the other stuff, it'd be how did you get into all of this, and what is your experience, your background? How did you get into weather? Take it away.
So for me, it all started when I was probably 6 years old, May 31st, 1998. There's a town in eastern Berks County, Lyons, Pennsylvania, and that date they were actually impacted by a large EF3 tornado.
Oh, wow.
Or F3 at the time, I should say. And it damaged probably 80% of the town. There was numerous injuries and all that. And I remember that night clearly, one town over, I grew up in Mertztown, and I remember the power going out and the crazy storm. And then the day after, my aunt actually took me out, and we went to see the damage in Lyons. And rather than be scared as a young child, I was more interested, and I was like, I want to see what causes this type of, event. And from there, it all just began. I started researching everything I possibly could about the weather, and then while researching about the weather, I found videos of storm chasers.
Okay.
And to me, I was like, what's a storm chaser do? And it's kind of how it all began. I was like, I want to be a storm chaser. And but yeah, I grew up right here in Berks County, and
so how do you go from that to going out yourself and chasing these things and getting into that? Because that's not, I mean, obviously anyone can get in their car, but but you're doing a little bit more than just getting out and running around and videotaping.
So when I was younger, I reached out to a storm chaser in Pennsylvania. I ended up Googling storm chasing teams in Pennsylvania, and there obviously wasn't much. It's not as mainstream as it is now. And I found somebody up in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area. Her name was Cade Matrona Brand, and she runs Storm Stalkers Club. Okay. And then from there, every time we would get a storm, I would just call her up on the phone. And then, I'd slowly learn things. As she was chasing, she would have, videos and stuff. And she had a training class, and I took that. And then when I was finally old enough, I took a Skywarn class with the National Weather Service offices. Okay. And then from there, I just slowly started building up on it. And then there was educational modules that came up. And
I was going to say, go into that a little bit. What do you have to do if you want to do this more professionally or on a different level? So, what kind of education do you need to get or have experience in?
You should definitely have a basic understanding in how weather works. How the atmosphere, is. And basically, you really need a good understanding on geography and stuff and where things are. It's a little bit more than just knowing where roads are, where you live. If you really want to go out and be safe, my biggest thing is, if you go out, anybody can just get in their car and go. But you have to have an understanding, because you can really get yourself in some bad situations. There's many tools that I use, radar-wise, correlation coefficient and all that. So the average person, the only thing they know is just the regular radar. So I'd say if you really want to get into this, dig a little bit more, reach out to a storm chaser, whether it's me or somebody else. Even contact your local National Weather Service office. You can really learn a lot.
Yeah. So going out there, seeing a whole bunch of different weather, obviously, people see what it's like on the movies or on TV, the tornado chasers, that kind of thing, and they assume that every day, all day, that's all that's happening. Tell me, I know even from being, on the reporter end of it, the journalist side, that it's not always action all the time. So tell me a little bit, what else are you doing that takes your time, or all the research that kind of goes into before the storm actually gets here? Because there's a lot of time before that, right?
So for me, there's a lot of storm chasers who they're looking at the models a week out. And for me, that's a little bit too much. So I won't start I won't start looking at the situation until we're about 3 days out. I'll just peek at it. And then when we're a day before the event, when the models are actually just coming into what's actually going to happen, I'll go on and I'll look at what we have, the HRRR model, or the NAM model. And I'll start analyzing different things then, so such as CAPE, the convective available potential energy in the atmosphere.
I will agree with you.
Yeah, the temperature and dew points.
You're talking about.
The LCL levels, which is like the lifting condensation levels, so I can see where my cloud bases are going to be. A lot of things, people think tornadoes just happen, but if the bases of the clouds aren't low enough to the ground, you're not going to get too much action. So that's one of the big things that I'm looking at. And also I'm looking at like the simulated radars. What's the simulated radar going to be? And as the day goes on, is it trending or is it changing? I really look for the trends. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at.
So what kind of seasons are there? Because you mentioned before this that there's different, that, obviously you're not always out there every day. So what kind of seasons are you looking for? What kind of weather are you looking for you to film and to get video of?
For me, the biggest season in this area of the country is going to be the May, June, July time frame.
Okay.
May is when we really start, peaking up. The western United States is really peak in May. And then towards the end of May, it kind of becomes our time. So I really go by the trends, honestly, and progressively each year the weather's actually getting a lot worse.
Really?
We're seeing as temperatures rise that, significant weather is becoming more and more of a factor in the eastern United States.
But do you get into the whole climate change thing, or...
I believe that climate change is happening. All right. I believe that climate change is happening, and I believe that everybody should be doing their part to kind of reduce that.
But you're basing that on what you've personally seen,
yes.
and
I think that either way, I think there's a lot more dangerous weather in the forecast going forward for many years to come. And I think that winter is going to become a lot less, unfortunately, for people who like that kind of thing. I personally don't care for snow.
Well, what did you think about this past winter where we really didn't have much snow?
It was a very mild winter. I believe, like Allentown at the airport, they only had like 5 inches.
Was that really expected, or...?
No,
the forecast.
The forecast going into the winter was actually supposed to be a very snowy winter, and that just didn't happen. And I feel like as we go on every year, it's becoming less and less.
Interesting.
And there's really no reason behind it. It's our climate. We go through trends, we go through cycles, and that's kind of what's happening.
So you do more than just weather chasing. I've seen, because we're friends on Facebook, I've seen you've also done some things with NASA.
Yes.
And so tell me a little bit about that. You went down to one of the flight centers?
Yeah, Wallops Island in Virginia. I went down there, and they had a program about snow. Basically, they're going to be sending out NASA aircraft to do research on the atmosphere over the winter. And they were going to be looking to see what the size of the snowflakes are in correlation to where it is on the ground, and why sometimes we have snow on radar and it doesn't actually fall onto the ground.
Oh, okay.
So I got to go out and I got to see the planes. I got to meet the scientists behind it, and yeah.
What'd they tell you?
They told us that things weren't looking very good in the Northeast, unfortunately, and they said that they were most likely going to have to move the project elsewhere, most likely west, because as much as Kansas and Oklahoma gets tornadoes, they also get significant snowstorms and blizzards, more frequently than we do on the East Coast anymore. So that was pretty much it. Then they were very hopeful.
So as being someone in the media, because I saw you had the credentials and you were down there with a camera, what kind of things behind the scenes did you get to do that people would not really kind of see?
So we got to go into mission control. I got to see where they actually launched the crafts from. Range control, they call it technically. And we got to sit at the desks. We got to meet the commanders, the chief officers, and then we got to go to their hangar and basically see all their aircraft that they have. And then that was pretty much it. We didn't get to go to the pad that day. I really wanted to go to the pad. They didn't. I ended up going down a later time, and I got to see that for the launch of the Antares rocket. I went down. Unfortunately, it was canceled as I was there. They scrubbed that mission, but it was a nice long drive.
So when you're going out, and so tell me a little bit about more recently, some experiences you've had. I know you were telling me before you went down to Morgantown for the tornado down there. Yeah. You've been to several other not tornadoes, but different weather events that have happened in the area. Tell me about those experiences.
So living here in Berks County, the biggest area I cover is most likely going to be Berks County. When I chase, I try not to go east towards Allentown. I always try to go west. And Berks County it's unfortunately a weather hotspot for severe weather. There's a lot of significant weather here, and a lot of times it kind of goes unseen on the radar. Because one of the things that happens is our radar is actually based in New Jersey. And when the beam gets to the edges of Berks County, it's scanning at 13,000 feet. So if you have a tornado at like 1,500 feet or so, it's overshooting that significantly. So unless the rotation's strong through the column going up in the atmosphere, you're really not going to get a good picture of what's going on. But as far as Morgantown, I was on that event. I was very close by in Mountain. There was significant hail in that, golf ball size hail.
So that's where you were.
That's where I was. And then minutes after the tornado happened, I got a call from a friend, and I went over to Morgantown close by. And I remember pulling into town. I went in a back alley, and there was a studio, I believe it was, a bunch of girls who were dancing, and they were like in tears in the parking lot.
Oh, wow.
And I stopped and I said, "Hey, are you all right?" And they explained to me that basically the roof of their studio just was gone. They were doing their thing, and it was just gone. And that's when it really hit me that, a significant weather, had impacted Berks County, the place where I live and love.
And it just happens, too.
It just
happens. It's not something that always the word gets out there.
Yeah.
I think it's easy for people to say, obviously, like snowstorms, there's a lot of hype. You hear about it. There's usually a few days advance warning, at least in the media and other things, or people are at least talking about it. Whether they're hyping it up too much or not, that's always to be seen when the event actually happens. But for things like tornadoes and hail, it's not like that, right?
No, it's not. I feel like people in this area of the country generally, they're more interested in the snow. But they have to really consider that severe weather is real in this part of the country, and very real in Berks County, in fact. This is one of the top counties in Pennsylvania for significant severe weather impacts, whether it be by tornadoes or hail.
That's not what I want to hear.
Straight line winds and...
straight line
winds.
Because that happens more
frequently,
often than not,
very
too, right?
Frequently.
Okay.
Hail, obviously, we get that every year, so... but it's usually not significant size, like
unless you're someone from West Reading who may not like the word hail. So.
2014 might be a nightmare for you. But straight line winds is honestly every single storm we have that is a significant threat to this area, and in some cases, straight line winds can be more damaging than, say, an EF. Zero tornado, which has winds of 65 miles per hour.
Why? I mean, because people think of tornado, obviously they're probably thinking more of like the movies and everything, but why is a straight line? Tornadoes,
honestly, they impact more of an isolated area. It's a very small area. The damage may be significant in that area, but when you're talking straight line winds, you're talking broad areas of damage. Or the winds just kind of come in like a bulldozer in some cases.
How broad?
It honestly varies. I mean, you get a good bow echo. It can be a Dureco situation where, you could have a swath of straight line wind damages for 250 miles. That's rare in this area of the country. But for the average straight line winds,
how broad?
It's not uncommon for it to travel across a whole county or several counties in Pennsylvania. It's really not.
Okay.
Every event is going to be different, obviously, but straight line winds can be a serious threat. And every time there is a severe thunderstorm warning issued, I encourage you to honestly follow that warning. Every warning, every time.
So I saw, who was it? The Keystone, was it the Keystone Mesonet? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Okay. I saw you were excited to see that.
I was very excited to see
How does that help you do what you do?
So for me, when I'm monitoring...
Well, first explain what it is, I guess.
So Keystone Mesonet is a group of weather stations that are scattered across Pennsylvania in key areas. So they're along highways, they're at airports, then they're at like big businesses, and they're maintained by the Department of Transportation or other societies, airports, and basically that gives us a real-time key to what's actually going on the ground.
Okay.
So like I said, I mentioned the radar scans
throughout the state.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like I said, the radar scans at 13,000 feet in Berks County. With that weather station, we'll be able to see what's going on the ground.
Okay.
So if the radar's showing 59 mile per hour winds at 13,000 feet, you might have a situation where it's 70 mile per hour on the ground. Those stations are key to actually seeing what's going on and helping issue warnings where the gaps in data are.
So how does that help you then when you're...
So for me...
what information from that are you looking for?
When I chase the train in Pennsylvania, there's a lot of... There's a lot of gaps in like the data and all that, and that's just one area to see what's actually coming my way more efficiently. So say I'm getting wind gusts of 70 mile per hour in Lebanon County, I can kind of pre-plan to position myself to where the storm's going to be in anticipation of those events.
I guess that's pretty smart.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I do. I guess I worded that properly.
Yeah. So go into a little bit, like what time is it here? What's Well, we have 10:24. I forget what time we started this at. What was it, like 10:04?
10:05.
Yeah, okay. We have a few more
Yeah.
minutes. So tell me a little bit about when you get footage, from video. Where does it go? What relationships do you have with media to get this out and to the public?
Okay, so when I'm out filming, I shoot for Livestorms Media. When I go out and I shoot the video, we basically get told what the networks are looking for, and I try to go out and I fill that need.
Okay.
So that way they can showcase that on the world news or, the Weather
What do they
Channel.
usually tell you?
They usually go out and they say that we're looking for, say there's a major flooding event that's going to impact Berks County. They say, we want flooding events that are going to be impacting people, transportation, highways that are going to be flooded. And I will go out and I'll try to fill those needs to shoot for them.
So you're looking for a very specific
Yes, usually.
event,
Yes.
or not event, but you're a shot where it's, that if it's a highway
Yes.
involved. Okay.
Yep. If there is major severe weather events, say there's supercells going through the area, with hail producers, obviously that's going to be a need, and that will take priority over anything else that they had asked for, during the day. But what I do is I shoot those, I submit those to Livestorms Media. We have this thing called the Central Distribution Network, and I upload that to there, and basically the networks bid on it, and
you get paid.
And then I get paid, yeah.
Is it as good? You don't have to go through any of the numbers, but is it as good as you think it should be? Or because a lot of people, kind of like Google AdWords or AdSense, people always think that then you're just probably getting paid a boatload of money. But I mean, that may or may not always be the case. Do you think it's a fair amount, or does it really get diluted a lot?
I think it's a fair amount. I don't really want to go into the numbers.
Yeah, no, I
but
don't
I
expect
think
you
it's
to.
a fair
No.
amount. Honestly, at the
But
end of
just
the day,
for people out there who
Yeah.
have no idea if it's really even it's a good thing or not,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's a fair amount. The networks treat us really good. My biggest client is going to be the Weather Channel, honestly, and they're very good to us.
Okay.
We got a really good working relationship, and
How many things have you had on the Weather Channel?
oh my gosh, I can't even count.
Okay, so it's regular.
I've lost track. Weather Channel and ABC News, CBS.
Oh,
NBC.
you're dropping names now.
I've lost track. I've had
It's
way
just
too
so
much out
big.
there.
I'm glad to
It
have
is.
you on the show then.
It is. No, yes. There's just been so much. I can't even. It's really weird for me right now to be on camera because I'm usually the one behind the camera.
Oh, both of us.
Yeah.
So when you're filming everything, what? Not that I would be. I don't really encourage people to just go out and do that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
But people do happen to be in the right place at the right time.
Yes.
What kind of things, if someone was to happen to be in the right place at the right time to film something or to get a photo of something, not that I'm not encouraging people to go out and get video, seriously though, because a lot of times it is very dangerous. What would you tell that? How could they do something like that to better help the weather community? Really, I mean, because that's what it's about. It's not really a matter of.
So at the end of the day, I don't just go out and I film weather. I do this to kind of as an educational value. All the footage that I shoot is archived, and they can use it at a later date. Whether the Weather Channel makes educational weather shows, how weather changed history and all that. They use those footage to kind of do that. So I mean. Honestly, if you go out and you end up seeing an event, and I strongly discourage you to go storm chasing without the basic knowledges, you can honestly call your local news desk.
Okay.
They can kind of help you out there. Most times the media is going to want it for free, though. So I can't
I
promise that you're going to get paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't specifically. Obviously, everyone has social media. They can put it on there themselves, or even send it
and
to
social
news.
media it's really powerful.
Well, I was more talking from the weather research and that kind of end.
Yeah.
If someone gets a photo of something that's worthwhile, how does that help? Because I know whether like for straight line winds, it's always helpful to get a picture of if there's things down, so probably they can know how strong it was, things like that, right? I mean that's kind of where I'm going.
Oh yeah. So your first step should not be the local news. If anything, forward it to the National Weather Service. Mount Holly, New Jersey is the office that covers this area. They can use that to better warn the people that are going to be downstream from the event that's actually occurring.
Oh, okay.
So that would be my first recommendation.
So the first thing would be more immediate.
The easiest way to get a hold of them is going to be through Facebook Messenger, actually. They have a Facebook page. If you send it there, they'll see it like that. It's honestly very instant.
A good social media.
Yes, it's very helpful.
I would not have thought that would be the first way to get a hold of them.
That's it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what else do you have to tell us about what you do and how you do it?
Honestly, storm chasing in Pennsylvania is a bit different than what you've seen on TV in the western part of the states. You know, Oklahoma,
because there's a tornado
Kansas.
every second, right?
Yeah, there's a tornado every second. They kind of get handed them. Here, the terrain kind of is a factor. I'll go out, and a lot of times the biggest thing is going to be the traffic that's impacting this area while the event's coming through. The mountains that sometimes hide what's going on down below. So I think it's a lot different than the people who go chasing out west and they kind of get a tornado handed to them and they can see it 50, 60 miles away.
Because it's all flat.
Yes.
Okay.
Here, I got to kind of work a little bit harder to get the shots that I get, and for that, it's a little more rewarding when I finally do actually get the shots that I'm looking for. But it's also a lot of pre-planning. So, like, if I'm shooting straight line winds, I got to...
And you know that beforehand?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I go out and I anticipate certain things happening. So if there's a transformer over in this direction and the winds are coming from that direction, I'm going to focus more on that and frame that up.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
Anticipation of what's going to happen.
Okay.
You know, if I'm going out and I'm filming snowstorms, there's a couple tools that I utilize. So I'll go on the PennDOT website, and they have the snowplow trackers.
Oh,
and I'll use that to my advantage to kind of frame my shots up for when they're actually making their passes by.
Oh, so that actually does track them in real time.
Yes, it does.
Oh my god!
So I use a bunch of different tools, and also, like, say there's flooding on highways, Google Maps is very helpful in that situation because you can go on, you can see where traffic is completely stopped, and you can kind of try to, spot where you can go in that area.
Yeah, I try to use Waze a lot for that, where it's like people report in, you can see exactly where things are stopped.
But you got to really pre-plan a lot of stuff here. When I'm driving just down the road, I drive my wife nuts because I'll be like, "That's a really good spot to shoot a storm from. I'm gonna mark that on my map real quick and come back."
Yeah, how does your that's a good question. How does your family deal with everything that you do? Because for like what I do sometimes, it's very spur of the moment, or it's very like, "Hey, we got to go do this," and that's not something normal. That like I have to get a lot of photos for what I do, so that's going around driving, get some photos around or doing other things is not a normal thing that you're normally doing.
My wife's very supportive. She usually knows a couple days in advance if there's going to be severe weather impacting the area.
Oh, so you tell her?
I tell her. I tell her. She's not sometimes very happy, but I tell her. And then I'll go to those areas and I'll point out and I'll say, "Hey, I'm looking at New York State. I'm really looking at Syracuse and all that."
Oh, so you're going further away too?
Sometimes I do. Yes. Depending on if it's a big event. Now, when there's different levels of events. There's marginal, slight, enhanced, moderate, and high risk events.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If we start getting anything in higher than enhanced to moderate, I'll start going pretty far away. But
do we just to kind of sidetrack with that? What I've seen them kind of forecast. Oh, we're in a moderate risk now. Things like it. Does that really? Is it really elevated in our area too much, or because I've usually seen it only in like the mild or the moderate?
So generally, what we're going to see is marginal to slight risks. It's very rare that you get up to that level 3 criteria where it's enhanced or above.
Well, I kind of feel like that's for this area. It seems a little deceiving as to the moderate doesn't really feel like, when you get a storm in and like, oh, that was
those different
the
levels basically translate to how much severe weather is anticipated.
Okay.
So if you're going to have numerous storms that are going to be golf ball size hail producers, you're most likely going to be in a moderate. If you're going to have significant tornado producers that are expected to be long track systems traveling all the way across the state, 10, 12 tornadoes, you're going to be in a moderate risk. High risks, the only time that's ever happened is actually the day that I spoke of, May 31st, 1998.
Okay.
That's the only time Pennsylvania's ever been in a high risk.
Oh, really?
So they're extremely, extremely rare. And moderates, you get those maybe every 2-3 years.
Interesting. So back to your family. Sorry about how they deal.
So my daughter, she's actually very, very obsessed with weather right now.
Okay.
When she was very young, we were out and I was filming. I went to go film a controlled burn, and we saw a fire-nado.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And, well, that has to be rare too, right?
Just a firewall going up on the fire, and she.
Yeah, you shared. I think you put a picture on that.
She's obsessed with it. Every time she sees a tornado, she just calls it a fire-nado. She's like, "Are you gonna go see a fire-nado, Daddy?" She loves it. She loves it. So I feel like I have a weather node on my hands. I couldn't be happier.
Is it good or bad?
I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier. It's gonna be a while before she obviously comes out. She's 3 right now, but
so it's a little bit of time.
She's taking an interest, and she's young, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Cool.
So weather's a huge part of my life.
Well, it's nice. It's good that your family supports you and everything. What's the furthest you've traveled?
So I'll go out to like conventions and stuff. So I went out to Wichita, Kansas.
Well, I meant for more City. Like going after
for
like
chasing.
a storm.
I try to keep it really not a distance. If it's a good enough threat, I'll put in the miles. I really don't care how far it is.
Yeah, so what in the background of that? What you're just driving?
Just driving.
And then then do you stop and have to figure out things?
As I'm going, I'll make stops, and like say every hour, and I'll reanalyze the situation.
Okay.
There's times I've gone out and I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, this looks great, and then I just pull over and I'm like, all right, I'm going home. That's it. It's not good.
Man.
So you just got to kind of keep an eye on the situation as it evolves, and then make the choices from there, and whether to continue or not, or just call it quits. And a lot of times, storm chasing is not going out and you're not getting something every single time. It's really a lot of busts is what we call it.
So you're really, I mean, so the footage you have on Facebook and everything, that's how many years of working at it that
so
it's not every day.
These last 2 years I've been pretty lucky that I've had consistent events, whether it be straight line winds or hailstorms, but that goes along with the fact that I said that the severe weather threat is increasing every single year. It's honestly getting pretty bad. I'm actually nervous for this summer considering we had a very mild winter.
Oh, does that mean that
we're in a warming trend, and with that, those warmer temperatures and the higher dew points, and you really start.
So that means more severe weather.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
So I mean, does that mean usually the more snow you get, it's milder? Is that just basically because we've warmed up quicker?
We just warmed up quicker. I mean, some of the temperatures this season were 9, 10, 12 degrees above normal consistently. There's really been no cool down period. And one of the things that we don't have a problem achieving in Pennsylvania is severe weather. We may struggle to get some snow, but severe weather is a lot easier to obtain than a snowstorm. It's unfortunately.
Well, I know everyone's looking for that 18 to 24 inches of snow, but that doesn't always happen.
For me, I'm not afraid of the severe weather. The thing that scares me is the snow. So I have no problem with the fact that we didn't get any.
Stuck in it or something?
No, because for me, I feel like most people think severe weather is more dangerous and deadly, but for me, it's not. Severe weather to me, it's a very isolated area that's impacted normally, and a snowstorm can affect a large area, a whole state. And if you add up just a single accidents or some case injuries in one time,
I guess it's more prolonged.
It's a more significant event. Severe weather is not my fear at all. It's really not. So, snowstorms, I get nervous.
I was going to say, you have social media yourself.
Yes.
You're out there to tell everyone where they can find you.
So if you go on Facebook and you look up PA Storm Chaser Justin Selig, or just use @SEPA for Southeastern PA Storm Chaser, all my stuff will pop up. You can use Google, just type in Storm Chaser Justin Selig. You'll find plenty of resources. If you're interested in weather, feel free to reach out to me. I can help give you an idea of what to do to kind of get into this line of work, and even help you try to understand what's going on when events do come through our area. Like I said, I live right here in the Berks County. So
when does the next season or the start for severe weather again? Are we in it now?
Technically, tornado season started March 1st.
Oh,
technically. Generally, it doesn't start to warm up here until May. But possibly as early as Friday, we could see some storms.
Friday?
Yes. Not saying it's going to happen, but the models do show
You're calling
a tiny
it now,
indication
right?
that there could be some severe weather. Now, things change, but yeah.
All right. That's cool.
Yep.
Thanks for being here. This is Justin Selig, severe weather storm chaser.
Yep.